I got new books. I think I've managed to complete my list, I think. No, I'm still deciding about The Hobbit. But I now have a copy of Ulysses by James Joyce. Quite nice and thick, which is quite nice. I just said that was nice. Anyway, this is a vintage edition. I do really like this cover, but it was the only one that was available, so I grabbed it with the intention of making tons and tons and tons of notes in this one. I also picked up a new romance book, just this one. I don't actually remember when this one came out. I think this is the most recent book by Jasmine Guillory. I really loved her wedding date series, so I'm sticking with her books. I'm currently reading By the Book, which is book 2 in like a romance Disney series that's currently underway, and she wrote book 2. I forget the name of the author who wrote the first book, but I absolutely loved that. So I figured I would probably enjoy this, and I'm currently enjoying By the Book. So yeah, thought I would treat myself. I have a really shiny head. Like, it's really shiny. I don't know. Maybe I have to start blotching. But this is more of like an everyday, neutral, natural sort of look. So just Fenty powder rather than foundation, and then just a Fenty lip balm, tinted lip balm, because I just love my tinted lip balms. So yeah, I thought I would try something slightly different. I don't know if it's going to change if I change the light. That's probably a bit more closer to what it actually looks like. So I don't know, it's kind of simple. I kind of like it, it's kind of fresh. This next portion that you're going to see at the beginning section of this video is just, I guess, a compilation, or just like, I just managed to sort of like collect together a few clips from 2 moving vlogs that I uploaded between 2019 and 2020. Both you can view in full over on my author pen name channel, which I'm still trying to figure out what's going on there. So you can view both of those over there, or with the links that I will put down in the description box. If I forget, please tell me. But I'm just warning you right now from the offset, it's gonna be cringe. That's me. So enjoy. I lost so much weight, it's wild. Oh, he's cooking. Sorry. I'm gonna put all that weight back on. Bye. I am trying my best not to freak out and not stress out, but trying to move to a whole new country is the most stressful thing that I think I've ever experienced. I now officially have 31 days, 23 days, 16 days, 10 days, 7 days, 6, 3, 2. Back in like December, January, it was like early January, when I got my visa invitation to apply and everything, I thought that was going to be a stressful time for me. It was stressful, but it was nowhere near as stressful as what I'm dealing with right now, which is all to do with baggage and shipping. So I'm stuck. I literally have no clothes or anything. So that's fantastic. I'm in such a great mood. So great. Like, I'm not stressing out at all. Just to complete the countdown. 1.
What have you learned about moving to Canada?
A bunch of things. Number one, at least where we live at the moment, there's a lot of hills in the area. I now have abdominal strain, so I don't fully understand what that means, but I know I have to like relax a lot and like have an ice pack, so it's good. Moving to Canada means you're gonna lose weight really quickly. So it's the next day. But it has been a few days since I've been like here, like since I landed. Everything's been going pretty well. I look and feel like a hot mess, but the makeup is good. It's good. It hides all the imperfections and the crap. So it's good. Anyway, I'm going off to work. And not much is happening this week. That's just a heads up. Not much happens this week, but more discussions on immigration and stuff, I guess. So keep watching. This is my immigration folder. So I have more paperwork that I need to organize. I'm just organizing all of my paperwork today from medical stuff. So I've got all that ordered, or at least in order. And then I have all of my receipts because I'm gonna try and figure out if I can claim some of those receipts back for the tax year that's coming up. And I'm just organizing all of my immigration stuff that I've needed, that I'm possibly gonna still continue to need in the future. So I like to keep everything close by and organized so that when I start the citizenship process in a few years' time, I can just grab everything that I need, and then hopefully submitting documents and gathering documents, at least one portion of that will be done already, if that makes sense. But it's just wild to me because as I'm going through that folder and updating and moving stuff in and out, moving stuff to the front, moving stuff to the back, I started coming across like a whole bunch of stuff that I printed. So application to remain in Canada as a temporary resident permanent holder, application for PR status, like information on how to get PR status, how to get settled in Ontario, stuff that I needed for when I was moving here, information about the country like land and climate, bringing goods to Canada. Oh, that was an ordeal. What the Canadian people are made up of and what they're like, from the founding peoples, the originals, what the government's like and how it's structured and blah, blah, blah. Because there are certain things I'm still learning about the country. There are still things that I need to sort of get a grip on about the country, even though I've been here now for 3 years. Most of this is stuff that I got way before I actually moved here, because my intent was to move here because I fell in love with the place. And even though I've not really gone into detail or anything about how my husband and I met, it was way back in 2015, so almost a year of he and I being in our long distance relationship, that I flew out to Toronto. And I kid you not, the day that I landed, we took our dog for a walk. And as soon as I got out to College Street, I realized, because I mean, people who live here in Toronto who are fully aware of College Street and the vastness of it are kind of like, it's just a street. But for me, it was like, oh my God, I kind of just got hit with this overwhelming feeling of, it's more than just a street to me. This is where I want to live. This is where I want to be able to say, oh, I can just jump on a streetcar and just get out to like College Street to do my shopping up and down College Street. Actually, it's been a while, so I don't actually know if they have streetcars that go up and down College Street. I'm sure they do, but I don't know. It's been a while since I've been there. But yeah, I just fell in love with Toronto. And over the course of that month, that August in 2015, we got to go out and visit various places. We went out to Toronto Island. We went to all these other places, and the more I got to experience, the more I got to see of Toronto, I knew that this was where my heart was supposed to be. This is where I was supposed to come, and Toronto was supposed to be where I would put my roots and call this place my home, which is why I'm so in love with the city, regardless of its ups and downs and the craziness that goes on here, as well as other cities around the world. This is where I knew I was supposed to be, with or without my husband. And I told him that day, I was like, regardless of whether me and you were still together, you know, like a few years from now or blah, 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 Toronto was where I'm meant to be. And he kind of went, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Fast forward from 2015 to now, we're obviously now married, we're still together. And Toronto is obviously my home. So it's just nice to just kind of see all this random stuff that I printed out as a way of like helping myself get here. And now I'm at a stage where I can recycle all of this. It's just strange because like most of this was printed like 2018, 2017. So it's so weird that so many years have gone by. But back then in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2019. It's weird to fathom that was so many years ago, and yet so much has happened within that short space of time. It's just so weird. It's just so weird. It's strange. I'm actually going to recycle all of this. And this is stuff I read. Like, I found this to be incredibly helpful. So yeah, if you are looking to move to Canada or move to a different country, by all means, check out the country's government websites. There's going to be tons of information there to help you in accessing what kind of visas you're going to need. But on top of that, also just learn about the country, learn about where you're going to be living, so that when you actually get there, it's not going to be too difficult. It's not going to be too starkly different from where you live, hopefully. And you should be able to kind of settle in fairly quickly, just hoping that nothing crazy happens that's going to put a massive pause on everything for 3 years. But otherwise, get cracking, just explore the world and see what's out there. But yeah, I've made it this far, and it's really bizarre. So right now, I'm doing something that if you were told me 5 years ago that I was going to be doing, I never would have believed you, which is just organizing receipts and organizing paperwork for medical stuff, because I now officially have a family practitioner, which is fantastic. I'm still undergoing lots of testing and everything to try and figure out what else is going on with my body. But I'm doing all of that stuff and it's considered normal now. This is just normal for me. But I'm doing it in Canada as a married woman. It's a very strange concept and it's still sinking in. So yeah. Literally the other day, I completely forgot was my 4th anniversary of when I got my port of entry letter, which was basically the letter from the government that basically said, you've been approved for a holiday work visa or an IEC. You now officially have a year from this date to move into the country. And I remember the video that I sent my husband. If I can find it, I will probably try and slip it in somewhere. I'm just moving just in case. And it was just, it's so weird. It's so weird to think that that was 4 years ago that I was sent that email, and I was also sent that letter. It's so bizarre. It's 4 years ago. And then I think it was either that night or the next day, I booked the flights to move to Canada to start my new life. And then for the following 8 months, I started setting up my life so that I could move to Canada. And it's such a weird concept. It's so weird. I'm very busy today doing more writing and romance writing stuff. So I'm going to get back to that. And thank you again for watching, and I will see you again real soon. 4 years, what? That is so bizarre.